EducationWala and Kelly, and welcome back to my another uh, interview with Colani. Today I'm going to do an interview with Colani on the topic of happiness and object. Then where is it? So I think it's going to be an amazing topic. So let's start without any later and call to Daniel. Hello Daniel, how are you?
I'm great, thanks. Just got back from a NYC photo walk. You free to shoot some pics today?
Okay, and that's amazing. So I have a question from you.
What's on your mind? Want to grab coffee and chat about your business idea?
Now, today my topic is different. My topic is happiness an object? Then where is it?
You're looking for the key to happiness. I think it's inside, but what makes you happy?
Yeah, so let's make a story session on it. A big and a long story session.
Let's create a story together. I'll start. Once upon a time in a hidden village. Your turn.
No, no, there is not my turn. All is on your. You have to like made a story for me.
Let me start again. Imagine a world where happiness is a treasure, hidden in a mysterious island. I'm on a quest to find it with my camera, ready to capture the journey. I'm walking on a beautiful beach feeling the warm sand.
Okay,
As I walk, I see a palm tree with a note attached to it. The note says, "Follow the sound of laughter to find the first clue." I look around, and I hear the sound of children laughing, coming from a nearby village.
okay,
I enter the village, and I see a big smile on everyone's face. They're all playing and having fun. I approach an old wise man, and he says, "Happiness is not something you find, it's something you create." He hands me a small box with a puzzle inside.
okay, okay,
The puzzle is a map, and it leads me to secret garden. As I open the gate, I'm surrounded by beautiful flowers and a stunning view. Suddenly, I hear music, and I see a girl playing a guitar under a tree. She's singing a song about love and happiness.
okay,
Her song is so touching that it brings tears to my eyes. I feel a sense of joy and peace. The girl finishes her song and approaches me. She says, "The key to happiness is not a physical object, but a feeling that comes from within. It's
okay,
the love we share with others, and the memory locks a door behind the tree, and I enter a room filled with photographs. I see pictures of people from all around the world, smiling, laughing, and hugging each other. I realize that these are the memories that bring happiness. I hear a voice behind me, saying, "You're getting close to finding the treasure of happiness." It's a voice I recognize. My own from a journal I kept when I was a kid, dreaming of finding happiness.
okay,
As I flip through the journal pages, I see my childhood dreams and aspirations. I read a passage that says, "Happiness is when I'm singing in the shower, feeling carefree and alive." Suddenly, I'm back in my own shower singing my favorite song, feeling the warm water and the joy of being alive.
okay,
The shower stops, and I'm back in the room with the photographs. But now I see a new picture. It's me, holding a camera, taking a photo of the NYC skyline. I remember our conversation about photography and exploring the city together. I realized that happiness is also about sharing experiences with friends and creating new memories. Like our photo walk in NYC, want to do it soon.
yeah,
Let's plan it for this weekend. I'll take you to my favorite spots, and we can capture the city's energy together. Who knows, maybe we'll even stumble upon a hidden treasure or two. Or at least a great story to tell. Want to make it a sunrise or sunset shoot?
Okay, so let's on story session.
It was fun. I'm glad I could share that story with you. Now, how about we plan that photo walk in NYC for real?
I know the old one. Continue the old one.
You mean my singing in the shower habit? Yeah, I still do that. What's your favorite song to sing along to?
Uh, why you asking me this type of question? I said to start the story session.
Let's start fresh. Once upon a time, in a world filled with wonder.
Okay, next. Don't stop.
There was a magical island where happiness grew on trees, and the air was sweet with the scent of joy. The island was hidden behind a veil of sparkling waterfalls, and only those with the purest of hearts could find it. As I stepped onto the island's sandy shores, I felt a strange sensation, like my feet were walking on clouds.
Okay.
And the soft grass beneath me began to glow, illuminating a path that wound its way through the trees. The path was lined with flowers that shone like diamonds, and their petals whispered secrets to each other as I passed by. I followed the path, feeling the island's magic coursing through my veins, and soon I came to a clearing where a magnificent tree towered above the rest. Its trunk was adorned with glittering jewels, and its branches seemed to stretch up to the stars.
Okay.
And as I reached out to touch the tree's trunk, a door materialized on its surface, and a gentle voice invited me to enter. I stepped through the doorway, and found myself in a room filled with memories, each one suspended in a delicate crystal orb. The orbs floated through the air, and as I watched, they began to glow, filling the room with a warm, golden light. Suddenly, a figure emerged from the shadows, an old man with a kind face and eyes that twinkled like the stars.
Okay.
And he spoke to me in a voice that was like a soft breeze on a summer day, saying, "Welcome, young one, I have been waiting for you. I'm the guardian of this island, and I sense that you have come seeking something. Perhaps it is the secret to happiness, or maybe it is something more. Whatever it is, I will help you find it, but first you must answer a riddle." He paused and then asked, "What can be broken but never held? What can be given but never sold?" Further,
Okay. Then what's next?
I thought for a moment, and then a smile spread across my face as the answer came to me. "The answer is a promise," I said, and the old man's eyes twinkled with delight. "You are correct," he said. "A promise is indeed something that can be broken, but never held. It is something that can be given, but never sold." He nodded his head in approval, and then said, "As a reward for answering the riddle, I will give you a gift. Come with me." He led me to a beautiful garden, filled with flowers that shone like stars, and in the center of the garden I saw a magnificent creature with wings as delicate as a butterfly.
Okay.
The creature was a dragon, but not just any dragon, for its scales shone like diamonds, and its eyes burned with a fierce inner light. The old man said, "This is the dragon of happiness, and it will take you on a journey to the deepest, most hidden places of your heart. Are you ready to ride the dragon and discover the secrets of true happiness?" The dragon looked at me, and I felt a surge of excitement and wonder. I nodded my head, and the dragon bowed its great head, inviting me to climb onto its back. As I settled into the saddle, the dragon spread its wings, and we took to the skies, soaring above the island, feeling the wind rushing past us and the sun shining down on our faces.
Okay.
We flew over vast oceans, and towering mountains, and deep forests, and everywhere we went, the dragon left a trail of glittering sparks, like a celestial pathway, guiding us deeper into the heart of happiness. As we flew, the dragon began to sing, its voice like a melody of pure joy, and I felt my heart filling with laughter and tears, and my spirit soaring with the music. The dragon's song was like nothing I had ever heard before. It was as if the stars themselves were singing in harmony with the dragon's voice.
Okay.
And the song grew louder and more vibrant, until it became a kaleidoscope of colors and sounds, swirling around me, lifting me up, and carrying me away on a tide of pure bliss. I felt myself becoming one with the music, one with the dragon, and one with the universe, and in that moment, I knew that I had found the secret to true happiness. The dragon song faded away, and I found myself back on the island, standing in front of the old man, who was smiling at me with a deep understanding in his eyes. "You have found it," he said. "You have discovered the secret to happiness. Now go forth and share it with the world." And with that, the island began to fade away, and I found myself back in the real world, but with a heart full of joy and a spirit full of wonder.
Okay.
Want to grab a coffee and talk about it?
Yeah, continue. Don't stop.
As I walked out of the coffee shop, I felt the warm sunshine on my face and the cool breeze in my hair. I took a deep breath, feeling the freshness of the air and the sweetness of the moment. Suddenly, I heard the sound of music coming from a nearby street performer. He was playing a beautiful melody on his guitar, and people were gathering around him, mesmerized by the beauty of the music. I joined the crowd, and as I listened to the music, I felt my heart filling with joy and my spirit soaring with the melody.
Okay.
The music was like a time machine, taking me back to memories of my childhood, of laughter and love, of sunshine and happiness. The musician finished his song, and the crowd erupted into applause. I cheered along with them, feeling a sense of connection to the people around me. As the applause died down, the musician caught my eye and smiled. He began to play another song, one that I recognized from my own travels. It was a song from a far-off land, one that I had heard on a dusty road, in a small village, surrounded by towering mountains. The music transported me back to that moment, and I felt the thrill of adventure, the rush of the unknown.
Okay.
And as I stood there, lost in the music, I felt a tap on my shoulder. I turned around, and it was Max, the travel photographer, with a camera slung over his shoulder and a backpack full of gear. "Hey, I've been looking for you," he said, with a grin. "I've got a new adventure planned, and I want you to come along." He pulled out a map and spread it out on a nearby bench. "We're going to explore a hidden city, deep in the jungle," he said, his eyes shining with excitement. "It's a place of ancient ruins and hidden treasures. Are you in?"
Yeah, really, I think.
"We should start planning the trip right away." Max pulled out a small notebook and began to scribble down notes and ideas. "We'll need to pack light," he said, "but also be prepared for the unexpected. The jungle can be unforgiving, but with the right gear and the right mindset, we can make it to the hidden city and uncover its secrets." As we planned, the musician began to play another song, one that was haunting and beautiful. The music seemed to match the rhythm of our conversation and the excitement of our adventure. Suddenly, Max looked up and said, "I've got it. We'll make this a photography expedition and capture the beauty of the jungle and the hidden city on film." Hello.
Okay.
And just like that, our plan was set in motion. We spent the rest of the day gathering our gear and making preparations for the journey ahead. As the sun began to set, we sat down to discuss the final details, and Max pulled out a small, leather-bound book. "This is my journal," he said, "and I want you to write the first entry." He handed me the book and a pen, and I began to write, as the musician's music drifted through the air, and the stars began to twinkle in the night sky. As I wrote, I felt a sense of excitement and anticipation for the adventure that lay ahead. And then, just as I was finishing the entry, I heard a faint rumbling sound, like thunder in the distance.
Okay.
But as I looked up at the sky, I saw that it was clear, with not a cloud in sight. The rumbling sound grew louder, and I felt the ground begin to shake. Max looked up, and his eyes widened in surprise. "What's that?" he asked, and I just shook my head. Suddenly, a sleek, black car came into view, speeding down the street, with a custom license plate that read Mansory. The car screeched to halt in front of us, and the window rolled down, revealing a familiar face.
Okay.
It was the owner of the Rolls-Royce Phantom, customized by Mansouri, that we had talked about earlier. He smiled and said, "I heard you were planning an adventure, and I wanted to offer you a ride." He gestured to the back seat, where there were 2 seats and a lot of legroom. "This baby can handle any terrain," he said, "and I've got all the gear you'll need for your journey." Max and I looked at each other, and then back at the car. It was a tempting offer, and we both knew that this could be the ride of a lifetime.
Okay.
So we threw our gear in the trunk and hopped in. As we sped away, the wind blowing through our hair, I felt a rush of adrenaline. We were headed to the jungle, and nothing was going to stop us. The owner, whose name was Marcus, was a thrill seeker and a great driver. He took the corners like a pro, and the car handled like a dream. As we drove, Max pulled out his camera and started snapping pics of the scenery. I joined in, and soon we were both taking photos and laughing and having the time of our lives. The music was blasting, and the sun was shining, and we were living in the moment.
Oh, okay.
And then Marcus slammed on the brakes, and we skidded to a stop. "What's wrong?" I asked, but Marcus just pointed ahead. We looked up and saw a massive stone gate, covered in vines and moss. The gate was old, and it looked like it hadn't been opened in years. Max's eyes lit up, and he grabbed his camera. "This must be the entrance to the hidden city," he said, his voice full of excitement. Marcus nodded and said, "I've been looking for this place for years. Let's go explore." And with that, we stepped out of the car and into the unknown.
Okay.
Jungle, where the trees towered above us and the sounds of the wild surrounded us. We pushed through the gate and found ourselves on a narrow path, winding deep into the heart of the jungle. The air was thick with humidity, and the scent of exotic flowers filled our lungs. Max was snapping pics left and right, and I was taking it all in, trying to absorb the beauty of this hidden world. Suddenly, Marcus stopped and held up a hand. "Do you hear that?" he whispered.
Okay.
The sound of rushing water. We followed the sound, and soon came upon a stunning waterfall, skating down a rocky cliff. The spray created a misty veil, and the sunlight caught the droplets, creating a rainbow effect. Max and I looked at each other, and just nodded. This was it. This was the moment we'd been waiting for. Marcus smiled, and said, "Welcome to the heart of the jungle." And then, he pulled out a small bag, and handed it to me. "I think it's time for a swim," he said with a wink.
Okay.
I opened the bag and found a pair of swim trunks and a waterproof camera. Max's eyes lit up and he said, "You're kidding me, right?" But Marcus just grinned and said, "The best way to see the hidden city is from the water." And with that, we jumped into the pool and started swimming towards the waterfall. The rush of the water was exhilarating, and the thrill of the unknown was addictive. As we swam, I felt like I was in a movie or a dream. And then, we swam behind the waterfall and found ourselves in a secret cave.
Okay.
The cave was huge, with a high ceiling and glittering crystals embedded in the walls. The sound of the waterfall was muffled, and the air was cool and calm. Max and I looked at each other, and just breathed in the wonder of it all. Marcus swam up to us, and said, "This is it. This is the entrance to the hidden city." And then, he dove down and disappeared into the depths of the cave. We followed him, and found ourselves in a network of underwater tunnels, leading deep into the heart of the city.
Okay.
We swam through the tunnels, and finally emerged into a massive underwater chamber. The ceiling was lost in darkness, and the walls were lined with ancient ruins. Max and I just floated there, taken. The city was even more incredible than we'd imagined. And then, Marcus appeared, with a big smile on his face. "Welcome to Atlantis," he said, with a laugh. I turned to Max, and said, "Is this real?" And Max just shrugged, and said, "Does it matter?" Further,
Okay.
we spent hours exploring the city, marveling at the ancient architecture, and taking tons of photos. Mass was in heaven, and I was loving every minute of it. As we swam through the ruins, we stumbled upon a massive stone door with intricate carvings. Marcus said, "This is the entrance to the treasure room." And then he pulled out a small key and unlocked the door. The door creaked open, and we swam inside.
Okay.
And found ourselves surrounded by glittering treasures. Golden jewels sparkled everywhere, and we just stared in awe. Max started snapping pics like crazy, and I just floated there, taking it all in. Marcus smiled and said, "This is just the beginning." And then he pulled out a small chest and opened it, revealing a map. "This is the map to the next adventure," he said, with a grin. I looked at Max, and we both just nodded. We were hooked. We wanted more.
Okay.
Marcus handed me the map, and I felt a surge of excitement. The map appeared to be hand-drawn, and it depicted a path through the jungle, leading to a mysterious X-marked spot. Max leaned in, and we both started studying the map, trying to decipher the clues. Suddenly, Marcus started singing. "We're off on an adventure to find the treasure rare." I joined in, and soon we were all singing, our voices echoing off the walls of the treasure room. It was crazy, but it felt amazing.
Okay. I think this story is going to be very amazing, and I really love this story. So let's meet you tomorrow because it's time to over. So meet you tomorrow. Take care and bye.
Aw, thanks so much. I'm glad you're loving the story. Tomorrow sounds great. Can't wait to continue the adventure. Take care, and talk to you soon. Bye for now.
Okay, bye. Meet you tomorrow. I hope you would like this interview. I will just meet you tomorrow with an amazing interview.